following show is for comedy only and is purely for the sake of entertainment. The stories, characters, and people affiliated with this show talk about hypothetical situations for laughs. Listener discretion advised.
San Quentin, what good do you think you do? Do you think I'll be different when you're through? You bend my heart and mind and you warp my soul. Your stone walls turn my blood a little cold. San Quentin, may you rot and burn in hell.
Hello?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Oh, man. Having me an extra moment there. I was on Zoom for a little while, but I downloaded the app for some like classes and stuff, but I never used it. So, yeah, I got lost there. I got lost there for a minute.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties.
It's all on my end. Trust me. I literally got dragged into the 21st century kicking and screaming about 8 years ago. So it's all good.
Well, sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. And I guess in this particular circumstance, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, but the good news is we can connect. So,
Hey.
It's on.
Well, how you doing, man?
Oh, doing good, man. Got a lot going on. In the middle of moving, and then all the other usual bullshit that entitles life.
That's fair. Well, so
overall, though,
I know
I'm good because I make life good.
So I know you as mutual aid or mutualist aid, excuse me, and I know you as anarchist in gray. But what can I call you?
You can call me Sven.
Sven?
Sven Stevenson.
Sven. Okay. Nice to meet. Nice to finally get a voice to the personality, Sven.
Yes, sir.
So like I said in the DMs, I reached out to you because man, I tell you what, I'm getting my ass kicked every Saturday with this MMA training. Every day I come home beaten and fucking bruised, and I'm just getting my ass kicked. And then I made a post about it, and you reached out to me, and you're like, well, hey, you know what? That's good. That means you're learning. Well, what the hell does this guy fucking know? I mean, like, he's the one and only mutualist I've ever known. This guy, for the audience, is the only mutualist that I've ever known ever. In the vast world of anarchy. We've talked a little bit about mutualism, and in fact, I through my studies, I've figured out I guess one might say mutualist curious. But then he reaches out to me and tells me that he's an expert in like 30,000 different forms of martial arts.
I never said I was an expert.
Oh, okay.
Because if someone claims they're an expert, they're probably just okay.
Well, okay, so you have, but didn't you teach people?
Oh yeah, I've trained in martial arts for like 30 years.
Well, there you go. I mean, you've trained in martial arts for 30 years. One might assume, maybe you might not toot your own horn, but one might assume that you've picked up a few things along the way.
Yeah, I've been really into it. I mean, I'm pretty much what they call a martial arts nerd. That's someone that studies multiple disciplines, tries to suck up as much as he can. And at one time or another, I mean, I was like, that's all I did. That was my life. It was that encompassed the totality of my existence, especially in the 90s when I was really on a roll.
Okay, so let me ask you before you got into it, why? Okay, so in a world of guns, why is it necessary to fight? I know I know why I personally want to know how to fight, but why is it important to you? Or in a general concept, why is it important to know how to fight?
Well, I had this in a conversation somewhere with somebody, and to me, your most powerful weapons are your mind and your body. Because if you're some fat fucking FUD, who's got the AR and you got a repeating rifle, and you've got an obstacle course or whatever that you're fighting through, I mean, he may have the superior firepower, but he's slow. He's a big ass target, and for me, the reason I got into it is like my vision of the society that I thought I was going to be living in. I wasn't going to be needing AR-15s and plate carriers.
Okay.
You know, this was the society that I thought I was going to live in up until relatively recently. You know, I've navigated my way through all this. You know, I've pretty much been an anarchist, you know, since I was in high school.
Damn.
So to me, the physical aspects that come with the martial arts are very important. And then there's, of course, there's a whole hand-to-hand aspect. I mean, a lot of people will be saying, I mean, that, you know, what good is a kick against a gun? What good is a knife against a gun? Well, I mean, it's true. You're not always going to have that weapon in your hand. You may have it on you, but you may need a second to get it, right? So you may need to, you know, put your fingers in somebody's face, you know, as you take half a step back and draw down. You know, that's just one example right there.
Right. Well,
And so, you know, if your mind and your body are honed, so to say, you know, into being, you know, I don't want to use all these cliches, but a living weapon, then whenever you hold something in your hand, whether it's a hand-to-hand weapon or a projectile weapon, it's just an extension of all your other training put together.
well, I think that's really important. It's an extension of your an extension of your body. I kind of got scared into it. Actually, I was reading one of my buddies. He's actually a status. To be honest with you, and he
They're out there.
in force, and he kept pushing this book on me. Concrete Jungle kept pushing it on me.
Oh yeah.
And are you familiar with it at all?
You know, I think I have came across it somewhere, but I've never read it.
So he in it talks about, okay, so it's a book about urban warfare in the modern age, and like a scenario of like, what if the government went away, and now you have to survive in an urban warfare environment. And there was an entire chapter dedicated to martial arts and hand-to-hand combat. And they're like, what if you get jumped? Like, what if this is what if there is like no range between you and the aggressor? Like, what if they have your hand strapped? Blah, blah, blah. This is important. Like, what if you get jumped and you're not expecting it? And so that kind of scared me into it personally.
Oh yeah, you've got to. I mean, even if you're a firearms enthusiast that carries, you have to be able to. You have to have the range to be able to get to your tool. You know, when it has to happen.
Yeah.
Self-defense. All the arts that I primarily studied in have always been self-defense oriented. That means they're not sport oriented. Which, you know, as badass as MMA is, I mean, it's still a sport and there's still rules.
Yeah.
And like I competed in American kickboxing back in the 90s,
Okay.
which, you know, I thought was totally badass, but really you're only using your hands and your feet. That's not a thing, nothing remotely considering a self-defense situation. I mean, if you and one of your buddies get in an argument and you go outside and you throw down, yeah, you're going to be using your hands, feet, grappling, you know, but I mean, out there in the real world, I mean, your fists and your feet are great, but I mean, there's so many more weapons on the human body and to use in so many situations.
So I'm doing I'm training with my neighbor, and I say MMA, but he's like, that's not the art form. He's he does taekwondo, jiu-jitsu. He's a wrestler, and then a couple other things. I think like a little bit of Muay Thai is thrown in there and stuff like that. What are you familiar with?
Oh wow. The things I've trained extensively in, I started out in Kajukenbo, and I've studied a couple styles of Kajukenbo. It's an eclectic American art. It started after World War II with a bunch of black belts got together, and they needed to defend their little settlement out in Hawaii.
Okay.
And
yeah, you told me a little bit about that, just briefly.
Yeah, it's an eclectic style, and so that kind of kept my mind open to, you know, all the things that would come around. It was the branch of it that I studied. Both branches were pretty much hard styles. They were karate-like at times. So yeah, I started out in Kajukenbo, and then, but one of the teachers was a competitive kickboxer, and so when we sparred, you know, we kickboxed. So that was kind of where I got my start into like self-defense oriented martial arts, and the sport aspect of it in Kajikembo. And from there, I studied. I ended up at a Shotokan school for a while.
That's how I started was Shotokan. I love Shotokan.
Yeah, well, what it was is that my teacher split, and the one that was the higher rank, and he wasn't the fighter. He ended up hooking up with the Shotokan teacher, and so I had to relearn all the shit and the Shotokan version of all the stuff, which was cool. And I retained some of it, the advanced stuff I retained. And then I kind of went on hiatus for a few years. You know, I mean, I was like, I don't know, 21 or something at this point.
Yeah.
And then I got back into it a few years later when I started training with the other guy that taught me kickboxing. And so he introduced me to this guy who taught Jeet Kune Do concepts, which was the art that Bruce Lee started, and
Yeah.
Guru Daniel Inosanto perpetuated it. And so I started training there, and I got heavily into the Thai boxing, the Wing Chun, got heavily into the Filipino martial
Wing
arts.
Chun.
Oh yeah, man, it's pretty awesome for its range. I mean, it's pretty useless with gloves on, but it's got some pretty good stuff in there. I was pretty obsessed with it for about a year or so.
I mean, you're not going to get in a bar fight with gloves on, you know?
Right. I mean, a lot of Bruce Lee's punches were actually he didn't rotate the fist. A lot of times he would keep that vertical
Like open
fist,
palm, like.
which is how. Well, you know, instead of how when you throw a punch at the final point, you rotate your hand, and your fist is horizontal. But
So he's
used a lot,
vertical fist.
Yeah, he used a lot of vertical fists. Even the old school boxers, back before they had the heavy padded gloves on and they went bare knuckle, a lot of times they used vertical fists too.
Really?
They weren't always rotating, because you weren't trying to hit with everything you had, every punch, because you're liable to break your hand. So they weren't getting it. When they start putting the gloves on them, they started getting more rotation in on to generate more power, because it became a necessity. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that about Bruce Lee.
Yeah. So obviously, if you see some of his movies, you'll see some traditional, what you would call like a boxing right cross, but that's because he also studied Muhammad Ali's movements. So he got Jack Dempsey and Muhammad Ali were his two guys he learned boxing from, but he never met either one of them. So
I mean, the man floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee. What are you gonna do? Like, you got to learn from the best.
Yeah. He actually would project Muhammad Ali like on the wall, like with the old ass film projector and shit, and mimic his movements.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's how Bruce Lee got a lot of his footwork. But anyways, so and I also learned French boxing there, and we did shoot wrestling, and that's when Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu first jumped off. But I'm not really I'm not like great at like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or shoot wrestling. My grappling is pretty much a survival grappling. So let's see, what else was I into pretty heavily? So I got out of it again for a couple years. I had some personal issues that I got out of it, and then I came back into it, and pretty much picked up where I started. Practicing the JKD, doing a lot of practicing my hard style, and then of course doing my kickboxing, and then I ended up at another JKD school. And,
I heard so I heard that Jeet Kune Do was the best, and that was Bruce Lee's baby. Like, Bruce Lee developed it himself, made it himself, and he like studied a bunch of different martial arts, and then was like, "This is the best from all of these different skills." What do you think about that? That's the criticism.
Something like that. He took like 30 different arts and put them together into his version of it. But the version that I studied was based on Dan Inosanto grew off of what Bruce Lee did. He, Bruce Lee didn't do patterns. If you're like, here, practice the stick pattern, so you can learn the stick pattern, so you can learn how to use these sticks more fluidly. Bruce Lee didn't really believe that. He didn't believe in doing that kind of stuff, because he thought you would get stuck in these classical patterns, which was his biggest critique of like classical kung fu, is that they were too busy practicing their forms and not practicing fighting. Which, there's a time and place for both aspects of that. You got to know, what works in the real world, and then when you do forms and stuff like that, I mean, that's to develop a different skill set. When I do my forms, which I try to do at least a couple times a month, so I don't forget them. I'm working on a different skill set. I'm not necessarily thinking about beating somebody's ass when I'm going through my sets.
Why? Like,
It's
what's the
yeah,
where's
I
the
mean,
mindset at?
oh, well, your mindset is you're definitely fighting, but it's I don't know. Moving meditation a lot of times is the word you'll hear when it comes to like forms and stuff. Especially after you know your form is really good, you kind of zone out and go through these motions. I mean, you are seeing all your opponents. You know where your opponents are coming from, and you're going through these prearranged movements. But for me, what I learned from forms are things like balance, shifting, concentration, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm now just to be clear, I'm not a huge advocate of throwing all your time into forms, but to me, it's a different workout. It's a different mental experience when you practice traditional type martial arts.
So, okay, so the way that I approached my current instructor was, hey, I need to know how to fight, and it's one of my neighbors, and the way he teaches me is he tells me to shadow box constantly and to find a different combo that suits me from the different art forms that he knows. And so none of it is like practicing form like when I was in Shotokan and like practicing these different like forms to reach a new belt. It's like shadow box and pretend there's a guy there and see what sticks. What do you think
Oh,
of
sure.
that?
Oh yeah, you have to shadow box and you have to freestyle. I mean, when I teach somebody, I give them all these tools. I give them basic combinations, and I give them required combinations. It's like, yeah, you got to be able to know how to do a 1-2-3. You got to know how to do a cover 2-3-2. You got to know how to do this stuff. But now go out and now you just freestyle, and I'm going to watch you. So yeah,
okay.
It's imperative.
Do you have a like this is a and I've been trying to find someone to tell me this. Do you have an end all be all like this is the art form, like this is the style that you need to know? Like if you know this, you'll beat anyone. I feel like that's a question.
Yeah, I really think Jeet Kune Do Concepts is the most encompassing martial art out there.
You said Jeet Kune Do?
Yeah, Jeet Kune Do Concepts, Guru Inosanto's version of it. I mean, it covers every range. The only thing they don't do is shoot guns or shoot bows.
Yeah.
They'll teach you how to fight with a long stick. You can fight with a knife, and then they teach you how to use your empty hands. And then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, part of the Jeet Kune Do Concepts umbrella.
Okay. I didn't know that one. I heard that if you don't know any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you go against someone who knows it and who is an expert at it, you will lose.
Well, yeah, if you try to find them on their own plane, absolutely, you're going to get crushed. If you don't know anything about it, probably, because if you go high, they're going to go low. If you go low, they're going to try to grab you high. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't know anything about it, it can probably put the hurt on you pretty easily.
Okay.
I've fiddled around with it for a few years, but that's too much time on my knees.
Oh man, and you know what? My knees are bad from like the army and from an accident. Yeah, so like I hate grappling. But I don't know. My instructor says it's important to know, so like I grapple. Absolutely. Obviously.
Yep, me too.
Oh, you do too? Okay.
Oh yeah, like right now I haven't actually like done any grappling training in like, I don't know, probably a year and a half, 2 years. But I keep it. You got to know the basics. You got to know you got to know the basic movements, and you got to know. Plus, you got to know what you're up against. And in jiu-jitsu, for me, if you're like actually defending yourself in a life and death situation, there's a lot of things that you can do that you don't see in like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Obviously, you're not gouging people's eyes out. You're not doing all that stuff. You're not reaching up under the mandible. You're not doing crazy shit like that.
Okay.
But like in life situation, you got to think about if someone's grappling with you and you pull their eyeball out. Okay, that's fucking real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess if I have one critique on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's that a lot of it's geared towards, again, it's competition. You know, it's
Okay.
geared towards the sport aspect of it. You know, a couple guys are wrestling around, and you know, it's like, oh, there's a shot, there's a shot, there's a shot, there's a shot. Okay, forearm into the throat. You know, there's just lots of possibilities there. Now, if you get a teacher that teaches you how to use it like in a street fight, which they should be doing. No jiu-jitsu
Right,
school
right.
should just be, yeah, no jiu-jitsu school should be geared just towards competition. But a good teacher will you know, show you, you know, how this is going to work in the street and the things you got to look for.
Right.
Because I mean, if you are a jiu-jitsu guy, then you have to watch out for someone trying to light you up any given time. They're going to try to hit you.
Right, right. Yeah,
And I know.
I heard that was a big a critique of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was just competition based because MMA is really big right now, and that's what specifically my instructor. This episode is gearing more towards like critiquing me on my training, but like that's what my instructor is trying, because you know I came to him in a very specific way, is gearing me towards, and I think the audience should be aware of that, is ask your instructor or try to find a training that is geared towards your needs, and be honest with him what your goals are. You know, if you want to win a bar fight versus whether you want to win a competition, like that's on you. I mean, am I wrong?
Oh no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think for an adult that's getting into the martial arts, I mean, you should be, in my opinion, I mean, you're going to do it for the quote unquote art sake of it, or you're going to do it for the self-defense side of it. And I think, I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, and you'd be foolish if you're not studying a martial art to understand how to just take apart the human body.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine why. I haven't done besides my instructor now. I mean, I did a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before, and I can imagine why they wouldn't teach you how to fight on the streets with it.
Yeah, right. So like when I train Jiu-Jitsu, it's in a JKB school, so we cover all this other stuff. You know, we've already covered standing up, in range. You know, we've already covered weapons, and then you're on the ground. And so this stuff, my teachers are always cognizant of these things. I mean, they got, you know, they got like all these teaching degrees and all these arts. I mean, yeah, it's pretty amazing. So they understand that you've got to be able to free flow through all this different stuff, and that at any range, anything can happen. Like, you know, they know that someone's going to try to hit them when they're on the ground. And so they teach you what to do about that kind of stuff, and how to, like, if they're trying to punch you or something, like when you're on the bottom, and how to lock that punch up and stuff like that.
I mean, so, okay, let's pretend that you're walking into a bar in any situation. Really, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bar. That's just my go-to scenario because of movies and TV and shit.
That's not right. So a bar fight is one thing. I'm more concerned about walking down a dark alley.
Okay, so you're walking down a dark alley.
Yes, I like to predicate it on that much better, because if you do some of this shit in a bar fight, you're going to end up in prison.
What do you mean?
Well, if you rip somebody's throat out in a bar fight, you're going to prison.
Well, that's like some guys pushing you around. Okay, so then let's break it down into both scenarios. And you're walking down a dark alley, and some guys trying to mug you. Like, what's the worst thing that he can encounter from you? Or from anyone for that matter. Like, what's the art form that he should fear?
The first, you know, that's tough to say, because when you're doing like for instance, Taekwondo contest, I mean, you're flowing through all these different things, and you're programmed to do all these different things. So I've been programmed in several different styles. You gotta love the word programming, right? We hate programming so much.
Yeah.
But for lack of a better word, the first thing you got to do is to either not get hit or hit them before they hit you. So generally, if they come out of nowhere, you're probably going to need to use an evasive movement first.
Okay. Because
that's probably going to register quicker in my head than to immediately hit somebody. But now if they stop you, if they're right in front of you, then I'm probably going to hit them first. But some of the best stuff I like to do is like put something right in their face, all right, just to make them look, right. Put something right in their face, like an open hand finger jab, and then kick them low, like in the thigh or something, like with the tip of your shoe or your shin. I would probably do the tip of the shoe because that'll give me more leverage for my next technique. So that's going to bring their hands back down, and then some hand techniques will follow after that, depending on the range. It would either be like something open hand into the face or a closed fist to the face, and then working with some elbows and some knees probably. And then, does he have a weapon? Is he the
Elbows
only
are
one
fucking
there?
gnarly.
I mean,
And I
yeah.
might be impartial because I like Muay Thai a little bit, and I might be impartial to elbows,
Yeah.
but elbows are fucking gnarly.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the only problem with them is that they're right at that intermittent range. And you've really got to understand where that intermittent range. I mean, it's kind of easy to throw an elbow and nobody's there because you're so used to fucking punching.
Okay.
At least that's happened to me in the past. But now, just a couple years ago, I did start training Thai as a standalone, and I think I might have got that out of my system.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not like a big power fighter. I like to set people up as quickly as possible and then take them out as quickly as possible.
You mean like trap them, like bait them in or something?
Yeah, or make them think I'm doing one thing and then do another thing.
Okay.
That's always been one of my MOs. I especially like to get them looking up high, so then I can strike low, then I can go back up high.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite tactics, and that pretty much applies to everything. It's just, I mean, that can apply to like when I'm sparring, competing, or in a street fight. It's just you just got to use different tools. Like I'm not going to finger jab somebody when I'm sparring them.
Okay. This is all a big ruse, by the way. There's no audience. I'm just trying to study my enemy so I can win in a competition. No,
That's all good.
No, I'm kidding.
Know your enemy and know yourself.
Okay, so you go high, then you go low. What about a bar fight? I mean, you said that it is completely different. I mean, what do you do then?
Well, I won't be drunk, so that's a good part.
Okay.
Generally, using lethal force in a bar fight is just, it's just not something you want to do because the legal ramifications really suck. Usually, I would try to use some maneuvering techniques, like I will manipulate their body more so than just have to outright hit them, which I actually had to do a couple times.
So that's more of like guiding them, like what's that art form? I can't remember right now. But
like Aikido, I guess.
Yeah, like Aikido or Judo, like using their body against them. You're using their own weight against them.
That's a pretty good thing I like to do, like in a bar fight. I mean, I've only been in a couple, and like in the last time it happened.
You've actually gotten in like real world fights, like outside of competition.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, not in a while, but because I don't really hang out in places where I'm going to get in a fight. The only time I'm going to get in a fight basically is like maybe at a soccer game or in a dark alley. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, soccer games, you're most likely going to get in a fight. I mean, look at the fans.
It's very possible.
Look at me. I'm a soccer fan. Like, you're going to get in a fight.
Oh, are you?
Oh, I love Sporting KC. I mean, I love them to death. Sporting KC forever.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have to hook up when FC Cincinnati heads that way.
I mean, like, I'll lose. That's for sure. Judging by this conversation, I will lose that fight. But like, I mean, like, I'll be militant.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about watching the game.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're silly.
I know how soccer fans are, man.
Oh, well, I'm not that kind of bad. Like, the guy that turned me on to soccer was one of the guys I trained with. And this guy was totally low key, real mellow. And man, get a couple beers in this guy, and he's a fucking soccer hooligan.
Oh my gosh, man! The couple games that I've been to, they get rowdy as hell, and I've never seen this side of some of the people I went with. It is a completely different side. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's a lot
Anyways,
of fun. But yeah, it's pretty good. I like to, if I can, if the opportunity is there, I want to redirect somebody's energy rather than take it on head to head, especially like in an atmosphere like that, you know. And this isn't an all or nothing scenario. I mean, this is a public confrontation, you know, in a bar where, you know, you just don't need to be splattering somebody's face. So that's the first thing I want to try to do. You know, I want to try to manipulate somebody's energy against them. And so yeah, this guy tried to hit me a couple times, and both times I redirected his energy, and he's like, you know what, fuck it, and he stopped. So I guess you could say I was lucky, or he was just like, the guy knew me, so he kind of knew what I was into, but he was a gorilla too.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, good. I didn't want to hit that guy anyway.
Well, I was always told that those judo styles, the aikido styles, redirecting weight is better for someone if you're a smaller opponent going against a bigger opponent. Not saying that you're small, just saying that this opponent you said was a gorilla, and I
Yeah,
was always told that that style is better for a bigger opponent.
yeah, he's a powerful dude, and I'm like I'm 6 feet, about 185, I think.
Oh, okay. So we're roughly the same build. So
And
what
how
would
old
you,
are you?
a 26? I just turned 26. Happy birthday to me.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thanks. So
You're as old as my kids.
oh wow, man, you really got to make me feel young, don't you? I know
Hey,
we were
you should feel good.
I know we were busting your balls a couple episodes back, and you definitely hit me up about that one. Also,
I did.
fuck you, GI, because I'm sure that was him and not me. I would never be disrespectful about someone. But
Oh, it wasn't disrespect. Saying somebody's an older dude ain't disrespect. That's what you know. That's a
yeah,
description.
but I will say, or I will ask this: what if someone is just now getting into this? Like they hear this episode, or they're reading the same book as me, or just randomly decide, hey, I should probably learn how to fight. Where do you decide on what to start with?
You know, I got to go back to the saying, walk into the JKD school. I mean, it can be a bit intimidating for beginners, I think, because, I mean, we're talking officially like, 9 or 10 styles that are usually under the Jeet Kune Do umbrella. But
Okay.
man, it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, in a
Really, just
year,
JKD
you
straight
can
out of the
learn.
gate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not, because you're going to learn everything. You got jujitsu class twice a week. You got Junfan kickboxing twice a week, which is basically like Bruce Lee's version of kickboxing, along with all this, with maybe a little bit of Thai, maybe some French boxing thrown in there. Or they might have like just a Thai boxing class that you can go to. So you go to jujitsu class a couple times a week. You go to Thai boxing class a couple times a week. You go to Filipino martial arts class twice a week, where you can learn like sticks and knives. And then they'll always have like French boxing, and they'll always have Indonesian silat too. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot there, but man, it covers everything, dude. I'm a bit of an Inosanto fanboy. Okay, I mean, I've met him a few times. He doesn't know who I am, but I've met him a few times, and the dude, he knows so much. And I mean, who knows what Jeet Kune Do would have looked like if Sijo Lee would have lived. But what Inosanto did with it, I mean, it just blows my mind.
Okay. So, I mean,
So now, okay,
are you still training with Jeet Kune Do?
Not right now, no. The guy I was training with, I trained at his school for like 13 years. He closed up shop, but two of his top disciples, he closed up shop and moved out to Las Vegas. Just he needed to change the scenery.
Okay.
Because he'd been teaching for like 30 years or whatever. Hey, it's all good. I get it. So his two top disciples, they're brothers, they're siblings, and so they went ahead and opened up here, like near the end. I don't know. I think it was at the end of last year. So I haven't made it out there yet.
I mean, do you trust them? Like it's. I mean, I
yeah.
will say, I've had interesting trainers in the past. I've had good trainers.
Mhm.
And I mean, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the trainer makes the art. Like if you have a bad trainer, you're not going to learn much, and you're going to be skeptical the entire time of as to whether or not this will work.
Yeah, we'll touch on that here in a second. But
Okay.
yeah, these guys, they're amazing. I mean, they were pretty much they weren't the primary teachers there because of they both have families, and all that kind of stuff. But they were, but the one guy I was taking private lessons for when I was going for one of my instructor's ranks, and he put me through the ropes. And yeah, I mean, even though he's a status, you know how that goes.
No, oh no,
Dude, they all are. Come on, I mean, actually, one of my grandmasters is not a statist. I haven't really got it out of him yet because I don't think he wants to type out the word "I'm an anarchist" because he doesn't want anybody screenshotting it.
yeah.
But he starts sometimes in the middle of class. He goes off on all these. He's from Europe, and so he goes off on all these. We'll call them conspiracy theories, even though they're probably not conspiracies, about how things were really coming to a loggerhead in the early 20th century, and that's why we had World War I to kind of like kill all the working class people off.
I mean,
So
it's a
bit of
business still, though.
conspiratorial-
It's a business,
Yeah.
and you have to recruit students, and it's still like you
Yeah.
have to make a living off of it. I get it, but it still
Yeah,
sucks.
he's totally not throwing it out there, but he's very anti-establishment. And then the guy that's my capoeira master, he's from the slums and shit, the favelas down in Brazil. And
Wait.
yeah, he doesn't
I'm sorry.
really trust anybody.
You're doing capoeira,
Yes.
like the dancing martial art.
I used to, yeah. Yeah, I used to. I mean, I was pretty.
What do you think of
I've
it?
done Now, I've done. What I think of it, I mean, it's fun, it's challenging, and it's got like the nastiest kicks. But I mean, I'm not going to try to use it.
Oh, okay, the nastiest kicks. I didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a couple aspects of the game. I mean, some of it is like all your gymnastics and all that shit, and then the other part is like these unbelievably powerful kicks that they have, and it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I was pretty heavily into it for a hot minute. When you train in martial arts for so long, man, you need something to kind of to give you a little extra spark. Because I mean, I can only throw the same combination so many times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason I picked up a 3-section staff. That's the reason I picked up tiger hook swords. Just something to keep me into it.
Keep
And
it
I can
fresh.
play around with this shit. Yeah, I can play around with this shit, but when it comes down to business, I can go do this other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, actually during lockdown, the only people in my town that were training were the capoeira people, because they're like, "Oh fuck
Really?
this shit, man." Yeah, it's like, come over to my backyard and we'll train. And I'm like, well, I haven't done it in
Wow.
about 2 years. My
Hell
knees are
yeah,
shot. Are you
man.
sure?
Go
Yeah. So
dancing
everybody else
Brazilians,
was,
man. Fuck yeah.
everybody was like living in fear, and this dude's like, "Oh man, fuck that. Just
Let's
show
dance,
up." I'm like,
baby. Let's dance.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I guess I didn't get that far either on. So yeah, I've also done capoeira, and I mean I've fenced. I mean I've done kendo, katana. I mean, yeah. About the only thing I haven't really done much of is like your real kung fu. The only kung fu I did was I did Wing Chun. I think kung fu's cool, and I would like to fool around with it a little bit more. But
Wing
I just
Chun's
haven't
badass, man. They have
Yeah.
they have that fucking wooden like pegboard that you just fucking strike all the time, man.
Yeah, the wooden dummy.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with someone who knows Wing Chun. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, what's the downside to that?
Well, there's downside. There's downsides to any art. The thing about so let's talk about martial arts and teachers.
Okay.
So let's
Okay.
talk about this. Okay. So I really do believe that you can pretty much learn any martial art and learn how to fight with it and be effective with it. But the key is that your teacher understands how to use that style in a real world scenario. Now, if he knows all this shit and doesn't know how to actually use it in a self-defense situation, then he needs to he needs to sell himself as somebody teaching whatever forms or sport or you know, art, quote unquote. But like you could go to a Wing Chun school and you come out of there being a badass fighter if you understand that if someone's going to go for your legs and try to take you down, or if someone's going to try to fight you from a distance with kicks, you know, if you learn how to fight against all that stuff, then yeah, your teacher knows how to fight against all that shit. He knows how to stop a grappler from taking you down. He knows how to work inside the kicks and use the Wing Chun. Absolutely. Then you're going to be a great fighter. And I'm very much convinced that it's not so much the style as it is the teacher. You know, you see karate, you watch some people doing some forms and something, and you're like, oh man, that ain't shit. That's just people going through movements. It's like, okay, but now this guy knows what all these movements mean. And he knows how to use all these movements. So that means that he knows how to fight, because those guys in Okinawa, they knew how to fight. They were fighting samurais. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very much about finding a teacher that knows his art and knows what you're going to be up against using that art. I'm not a real big fan of just throwing myself into one art. I mean, so your buddy, your teacher has studied all these different styles, right?
Yeah.
That's great, because I think you're a fool if you just think that your one style is going to win every fight.
It's the end all be all.
I mean,
that's
there's four
wrong.
ranges. Yeah, right.
Okay.
There's 4 ranges of combat. Okay, and then you have like short weapons, long weapons, and then projectile weapons. Okay, so if your hand-to-hand style doesn't cover those 4 ranges, I mean, your style is incomplete, and you're going to be in trouble when the shit hits the fan. Because not everybody's going to sit there and fight you with Taekwondo rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
you endorse Jeet Kune Do as like right from the beginning. If you're going to learn something, I need to start learning how to fight right now. Get into Jeet Kune Do. But you said there's 4 areas of combat that you need to know. What are
4
the
ranges? There
4 ranges?
Okay,
what are the best in each range?
Okay. For kicking, I think your long distance kicking, I think your best style is French boxing.
French boxing.
I know you probably don't know anything about that.
Negative.
Boxe
I'm
Français.
good.
Okay, well, it's Savate. It's kind of like Taekwondo, only they throw a lot of kicks to the legs too.
Okay.
So yeah, you can research all of that. So like even people like Paul Vunak and Burt Richardson's, I mean, a lot of their stripped down versions of Jeet Kune Do will still include Savate kicks. So that right there tells me something. I mean, Paul Vunak is one of the nastiest teachers out there. And now fisticuffs, I mean, you're looking at punching range. I mean, you got to go with like Western boxing. I really believe that
just
Western
straight up boxing, just straight regular boxing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm a little partial to it because I boxed so much and I had a couple boxing matches. But I mean, I just don't. I like Wing Chun, but the punches, it's more of a short range punching game. You know, and like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about like Northern style Kung Fu or Choi Li Foot or any of that kind of stuff that uses like long distance punching. So I can't really critique any of that. But yeah, straight up, all the stuff that I've learned, Western boxing is probably the best thing for your fists, for your hands. And then you get into like your third range is kind of tricky because I mean that's like elbow and knee range, and then hooks and an uppercut range.
So what do you think about Muay Thai?
So I don't really think there's. Well, yeah, your Muay Thai elbows and knees. I mean, that's a great place for them right there, and that's also a good place for Wing Chun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Wing Chun. What's the difference between Muay Thai and Wing Chun? I'm ignorant to Wing Chun at all, but I heard that it was one of the most badass ones there is.
Well, it's a punching art primarily. It's mostly using your fists quickly, and it does a lot of trapping and controlling your opponent's hands and redirecting their energy, and a lot of quick, snappy punches. But it's not like you're not getting that big hip rotation. You know how like when you throw a right cross, you got a lot of hip action in there, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to see that. So you're not going to get that kind of power. You're not going to get that kind of range on a Wing Chun punch. Now, if you look at like Bruce Lee's Jun Fan Kung Fu, he did incorporate a little bit more of that kind of stuff in it, but that's another story. Yeah, Wing Chun is it's a short range punching style, and it works really good. But when I get to that style, so when I get to that inside range, I'm definitely going towards Muay Thai because you like you said earlier in the show, man, the elbows and the knees. I mean that right there, those are money makers right there if you connect.
Yeah, you get inside and then you work at them, man. If you get inside
Right.
them and you close the gap, that's all money when it comes to Muay Thai. All elbows and knees, you're fucking golden. In my opinion.
Back like yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. You know, I would say about 96, 97. I was heavily into Thai boxing, and you know, yeah, that's how I ended my fights. You know, well, I didn't actually get any fights like where I had to use it, but when I'm working inside and going, you know, and drilling and stuff, I'm working kicks, I'm going hands, I'm going elbows, I'm going knees, I'm taking them and I'm throwing them, you know, and then I'm kicking them with a final kick just for good measure. That's before I was into like all the grappling styles. I mean, now you can go like, now you go, you start with your kicks, you're working with punches, go to your elbows, and then say you do a sneak around where you go behind them and then you take them down. So that's a good way to finish too. But I like Thai boxing for that third range, and you know, I got to really go with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for your grappling game, for takedowns and on the ground.
I heard it's the end all be all when it comes to
Helio
grappling.
Gracie. Yeah, I mean the founder of that style, you know, old man Gracie. I mean, I know some Japanese guy brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, created Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so to say, but you know.
It really breaks my heart. I mean, I'm Japanese, and like I gotta give it up to the Brazilians, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that the old man Gracie, he came into that style. He got a good grip on that. He's I mean, not only did he use like Japanese jiu-jitsu, he also studied Sambo and American wrestling. He put all that stuff into what we call Brazilian jiu-jitsu today. Yeah. So I mean, you really can't beat that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, I actually probably have more experience in like judo and Japanese jiu-jitsu than I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
You did judo.
That's just kind of what. Well, Kaji Kembo incorporated judo.
Would you recommend it? Because I wanted to do. My mom did judo in Japan, and when she still lived there, I considered it when I was trying to get back into martial arts. I did Shotokan, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, and I was thinking, you know, I was a smaller guy. I'm average now, but I grew up a smaller guy, and I still have that smaller guy mentality. And I've always been like into redirecting someone's weight. I mean, would you recommend judo?
Oh yeah, I would. I mean, definitely. I mean, you can learn a lot from judo. I mean, you take somebody down with a lot of those judo throws. I mean, that's about game over. All you gotta do is drop a knee on them after that, and it's pretty much lights out.
So
yeah, I don't have any problem with judo or Japanese jiu-jitsu. I do think that Brazilian jiu-jitsu is superior.
It's superior. Okay. I mean, like, that's what my instructor's teaching me now. He's white, so I'm not going to call him sensei because he doesn't want to be called sensei, but that's what my instructor's calling me now, or is teaching me now. Yeah. So when you bring bladed weapons into play, I know that I saw you in a video with, I think it was two kukris, but when does bladed weapons come into play? Because I tried to ask a couple people about it, and basically it was the conclusion was there should never be a bladed weapon. If you see a bladed weapon, draw your gun. It should only be like either you're fighting with your hands or you're drawing your gun. You should never bring a knife into play. So what do you say to that? Is there an appropriate time to draw a knife?
Oh yeah, I'll draw one if there's two people roll up on me. Yeah, absolutely.
But okay, so why shouldn't I draw my gun instead of a knife? Like, what can my knife do that my gun can't?
Oh, absolutely nothing.
Really? So
I mean,
so my gun will do just well without a knife. I don't need to carry a knife.
I mean, for utilitarian purposes, you might need to cut something.
I mean, besides like a Gerber, you know?
Yeah, I don't carry a gun, but I do carry a knife,
Okay.
and that's just because it's kind of what I've always done. You know, it's it's kind of like teaching an old dog new tricks. Like I used to inspect homes, and I would have a Tanto, and I'd have a set of brass knuckles on me, but I wouldn't have a gun. It's like, what was I thinking?
Well, what
You
do
know,
you
yes,
do?
please feel free to laugh, and I hope all the listeners laugh too, because it's just fucking ridiculous.
I mean, do you carry now? In my opinion, in my if for my personal curiosities, pardon me, I'm stuttering. For my
Sorry,
curiosity, do you carry now?
no, I don't carry a gun.
Okay. I mean, do you recommend it though?
Oh, sure. Of course. I mean, if you feel if you feel comfortable with it and that you think you need to, or hell, I mean, if you want to carry a gun.
So why don't you?
I hate saying this because I don't need to.
Okay, okay. I
Now,
mean, man,
now, when I say that, that's
preference
because
is
I'm not going
preference.
to. No, it's just I don't really see myself in many scenarios where I actually need it. You know, that's all.
Okay. I mean, again, preference is preference.
Now,
I still,
currently, I don't. But now that doesn't mean 2 months from now that I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I still think that if you do carry for the audience, not for you, if you do carry, you still should learn how to fight because I
Oh
mean, are
yeah.
you seriously going to draw in every single situation? Like some guy's talking shit and you're going to draw a gun on him? You're a fucking prick and a fucking pussy. Like that's just
Yeah,
it.
I would go with the pussy part because I mean, you know, I guess you know I'm kind of old school. You know, we didn't draw guns back. I mean, we didn't even, you know, we didn't carry guns back in the day. We certainly didn't open carry guns back in the day. I mean,
Yeah.
we got in fights, we slugged it out. You know, and
You gonna talk like a man, you better
actually
act
get your
like a
fucking
man.
ass beat. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
You better hold your
But yeah,
fucking weight if you're going to talk shit.
um,
But again, like I worked in a prison for 3 years and I have that prison mentality. Like talk shit, you better fucking own it, dude.
oh, absolutely.
You better fucking back it up, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's just like you know, so I don't talk shit. You know, people get online, they like to talk tough. People want to be tough in real life. It's like, you know, if I really have a problem with somebody, I'm going to put them to the point where they're going to challenge me, and
Yeah.
then that's a different story. You know, because I'm not going to challenge anybody. Actually, there's one person I wanted to challenge, but I better not, just because
Really?
uh, just personal matter, man. You know, and it is martial arts involved, but
Okay, so
that's my
you're super zen.
that's my
Like
albatross.
your zen is where I want to reach. Like I was an agent of the state for a long time. I lived a life of violence for a long time, and then I wanted peace and I wanted to live with, you know, with balance in my life, with peace in my life, and I wanted to avoid violence at all costs. And so and honestly, from what you've posted and what in the conversations we've had, that's the life that you seem to live is a very balanced, peaceful life. What
That's
has
where I'm
this
at now.
person done to really fuck up your zen?
Well, you know, we were pretty much best friends. He was someone that I really looked up to, and then it came down to you know, it was a moment of truth kind of thing. It's like, are you on the side of truth, you know, and your old friend, or you want to try to save face?
Okay.
And he decided to save face with this organization that we had both joined. And
Wow.
so yeah, it sucked. I could tell you about it some other time, but
No,
I
yeah,
don't
you
really
don't
want to
have
get
to.
into it.
We don't have to have it on public record.
It's
Like
actually
it's
kind of
fine.
heartbreaking, so it's hard for me to talk about it really.
No, it's cool, man. Like I get it. Like man, that sucks. I'm sorry, dude.
I appreciate it.
But I mean,
Uh, but now you want to talk about like living a life of peace and all that. It took me a long time. I mean, I know you don't really know anything about my background and all that kind of stuff, but
You're very secretive.
like,
Yeah, as you should be.
I
But
I don't mean to be, but I mean, everyone's got a story, and really, this phase of my life that I'm in now, really, and who person I am now, really came about. I think it was like 16, 17 years ago. Before that, I had a lot of strife in my life, and some of it was, external elements, and sometimes internal elements. Choices that I made, not always the best choices. I mean, I was pretty wild. Let's just say that.
okay.
But now, I mean, so yeah, that was 17 years ago, I think, and that's actually when I started. I'd been away from the martial arts for 3 or 4 years, and I think 3 of those years I really wasn't. I really wasn't doing shit, sitting around smoking like mass quantities of weed and drinking and shit like that. But then I just one day, man, I just was like, man, you know what? Fuck this shit, and I quit smoking cigarettes, quit drinking, and just started training again.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the person I am now and where I'm at now is it pretty much started on that day.
it's just willpower.
Yeah, I was just kind of fed up with my life and my friends and the choices that had led me to where I was, and I was like, you know what? I need to become me. I need to quit searching and make it happen and to find it. And I did, and that's where we got the whole Zen thing now.
Okay. I mean, do you think you found peace?
Yeah, as much as I'm allowed to. I mean, are we ever at peace? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm constantly chasing it. Like, I'm constantly, I mean, I have a beast inside me. And I mean, that sounds gay as hell. Like, that sounds so fucking dumb.
No, it
But
sounds cliche. It doesn't sound dumb, but it does sound cliche.
I have a beast inside me. I am constantly like wanting to, I crave violence. I mean, I joined the National Guard, and then I joined corrections as a full-time job, and was just doused. That's not the right word. I was I went to work every day and immersed. Thank you. Immersed in violence every day in the Shark Tank. That's what. If you talk to any law enforcement agent, the correctional officers swim in the Shark Tank. That's what they say. And it's constantly just adrenaline rush. The moment those doors shut behind you and lock, because you can't unlock them, that's the control center. They lock behind you and you're swimming in the Shark Tank. And so it's violence constantly, adrenaline constantly for 8 to 12 hours, 8 to 16 hours, pardon me, depending on how long they keep you, every single day, 5 days, sometimes 6 times, sometimes 7, every single week. And so I crave peace. I lust for peace, So I just I've been wanting to find balance and Zen in my life since I've quit.
Right. Any luck?
I mean, like, I found some sort of peace. I mean, but every
That's
now
good.
and again, the beast comes out. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Next week, I'm working with someone who I've worked with before, and he is a young buck who is a cocky little shit, and I'm anticipating not getting along with this person, and so it's somewhat of a like, hey, you've been good for almost a year now. You've never had a physical negative altercation with another person for almost a year. It's June, by the way. That's my cutoff date. When I quit working at the prison, and I don't want to go back to that place. I want peace in my heart, and I want balance, and I don't want to fight this guy. I mean, I fucking might, because this guy's a fucking dickhead.
Oh, I know, man. I know. I keep thinking, what happens when I run into so-and-so, it's some at some gathering or something. It's like, yeah, that motherfucker better not put his hand out to me.
Yeah,
He's shaking.
I'll fuck him up. Like, I'll fuck him up, and I might go too far. That's the thing. Like, I might not stop. And I pray to God I won't win that fight. Maybe he might be stronger than me, and I pray to God I don't win because I'll keep going. Like I'll fuck him up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the situation that you put yourself in, with work and all that, that's just not a good environment.
I mean, yeah, I know. It's a very like it's a
I'm glad
what
you
is
got
it?
out of it.
Thank you.
I mean, obviously, I didn't know you before, and I reached out to you like I don't know, a year and a half ago or whatever when I saw your logo and stuff, and that's when we started talking, and you gave me some of your story, and yeah, I mean, that's
yeah, I
that's
asked you if you were a no
crazy
shit
life.
mutualist. I never met one before.
Yeah, yeah, I've been in I've pretty much been in mutualists. God, I don't know, for at least 20 years or so. I mean, it kind of took me about 4 or 5 years to really figure out what I thought of anarchism economically. Um, but after reading like all the Proudhon and then understanding agorism and all that kind of stuff, um, it very much made sense that is the economy of anarchy. I mean, that's the book that Dyer Lum fucking wrote. It's called The Economics of Anarchy, and it's mutualism.
I mean, so like, okay, so why aren't more people mutualists? You're the only one I've met.
Well, I mean, you look around online, you see a lot of people sporting the orange and black, and so that gives me a lot of hope that people are
I haven't met anyone who has sported the orange and black but you, dude. Seriously.
okay. Well, go through some I don't know, go through somebody's friends list or some shit.
But like, okay, so why
But
don't
like,
more
yeah,
people support the
I
mutualism? Because like I know a lot of Unity guys and
yeah.
like a lot of ANCAPs who are pro Unity, like whatever. If someone wants to have a commune, sure. If someone wants to be a pro like capitalist community, sure. But I mean, where does mutualism set itself apart?
I really think the reason that it's hard for the reason that we're such a minority, I think, is that it's it's very nuanced. I mean, it's not all. It doesn't have to be cut and dry. I mean, it's anarchism, for God's sake. It doesn't have to fit into these predetermined molds. I mean, it doesn't have to be a pyramid structure like I see some people look at Ancapistan as like a voluntary pyramid, and it doesn't have to be this you don't have any property except your toothbrush bullshit, which I think that's a myth too. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I think I stated this somewhere else. It's like mutualism isn't just all is for all or just taxation instead. Because really, you talk to some ANCAPs and all they talk about like voluntary work for somebody voluntarily. Well, I work for somebody voluntarily right now. So what's the difference between me going and working from this guy and going to this guy and work from this guy? And in some of these ANCAP societies, as opposed to what I have now, is just there's no taxation. Okay, is that all you got?
Yeah, I get it, man.
But I know there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, when I got online like in 2007 or whatever, and I saw the ANCAPs and I was like, I didn't even know ANCAP pre-existed actually. And until I got online, I was like, what's this? I mean, I've read some Rand before because I'm a huge Rush fan, big fan of Neil Peart. So she was actually one of the first libertarian people I ever read was Ayn Rand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's like my dirty secret. Before I was indoctrinated at all, I read some Ayn Rand and of course Orwell.
Okay.
We'll have to go through my my anarchist story one of these days. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
long. It's kind of a long and windy road.
GI would fucking murder me if I didn't include him in your anarchist story. Like, if I didn't have him on to question you about this, he would actually drive up from. I'm not going to tell you where he's from, but he would drive up and murder me.
Who, GI?
Yeah, he wants to talk to you.
Oh yeah, I know where he's from.
Yeah, he would murder me if I didn't include him in that conversation.
Yeah, then we'll have to arrange that.
Yeah. Talk more in
Anyways,
depth
like I
about
said,
mutualism.
yeah, I know I've listened. I've heard you guys. I've listened to about half your podcast at work. Um, so yeah, back to mutualism. It's like it's just not. It just doesn't fit in these tidy little things, you know. I mean, and there can be, and you can have something that is more property based in mutualism, and then you can also have something that's more communalistically based in mutualism. It all depends on what the community voluntarily wants to do. So that's my take on mutualism. I think that there's a huge middle ground between Ancapistan and Ancomtopia that mutualism can branch out into both of those and take the best of both and still remain its own entity as the original economic form of anarchy.
Okay.
You write that down?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I do. I mean, like you know that I'm on the Unity train. I mean, apparently a lot of the mainstream LP is on the Unity train right now. I mean, how do you feel about that?
That's fine. I mean, it's called Unity for a reason. I mean, we have to put aside our disagreements. I mean, I've been an indoctrinated anarchist for like, I don't know, over 25 years. But I also have always been pragmatic as well. You know,
Ooh.
just like I'm not going to go down the street, openly fighting the state. I'll fight it in subversive manners, as opposed to taking it head on. But I mean, you got to be realistic, and people sporting the yellow and black and the people sporting the red and black need to realize that your numbers ain't shit when you look at all these statists around here.
I've always said that strategically is that you're not going to fight this alone. You're not going to win alone, and you're not going to be like, do you want to fight two different sects, or do you want to fight the government together?
Right. And really, I mean, if we're looking at an anarchist society, then we don't all have to be the same. It's like that's part of the part that just drives me nuts. It's like everybody thinks that, okay, let's just say the USA all of a sudden becomes an anarchist society, right? Who says it all has to be Ann Compton? Or who has to say it all has to be Ann Capri? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, what about voluntary association, right? I mean, I like if I lived in some hardcore ANCAPs, Hoppian ANCAP zone, I would gladly move across the way. That's just me. Because I wouldn't want to be around those kind of people. But if they wanted to all have their little thing, then I'm out here. I'm going to go to like one zone over and see what's going on over there. It's all about voluntary association. I mean, everything about anarchism is voluntary. I mean, Kropotkin said it, Rothbard said it. I mean, boom.
I dig it.
If it's compulsory, if it's compulsory, it's not. It's just not anarchism. I don't care who says it.
It's all about voluntary interactions.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never voted libertarian.
Don't force your ideals on anyone.
Yeah, right. That's part of the thing that kind of I had a lot of interaction on Facebook, on the left side of Facebook, otherwise known as Leftbook. I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on there, and man, it just drove me crazy. It's like, you're either an authoritarian or you're not. Okay, don't tell me I have to think this way. I don't have to believe everything somebody else believes, but you know what? I have no right to tell them how to live their lives or what to believe. I'm certainly not going to impede them living the life as long as as long as that life doesn't impress upon somebody else. It's not my fucking business.
I will derail the train a little bit. Are you going to come back to Instagram?
I tried to make a new account and I couldn't.
Yeah, I had to make a new account from a burner phone.
I heard you were digging through your drawer or some shit.
Oh yeah, I found a 10-year-old phone.
Is. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, actually, here it's full of cracks, and I duct taped the camera.
Nice.
Yeah.
Duct tape the camera. All right, watch out for the aliens.
Well, okay, so the new Instagram terms and conditions are we have to have access to your camera at all times.
No shit.
I
Okay.
hey, hand to God, man. But
Uh,
my last question to you is and it's a personal question. I'm sure the audience may or may not get anything out of it. Um I am thinking about getting back into Shotokan because I had previous training in it. Do you recommend it? Or do you recommend I just get into Jeet Kune Do?
I think you train with your buddy, the guy that you're training with now. Train with him and then go do Shotokan. Because I mean, the traditional styles do have stuff to offer. You know, like every day when I'm at work, I use more aspects of like a traditional martial art. You know, like just like walking, balance, body dynamics, leverage. I probably use for like my day-to-day existence, like a lot of the classical stuff. I tend to will use that more than like what I use for combat. So I would not just like, you know, I was actually thinking about going up here and take on Taekwondo just for shits and giggles because, you know, I didn't have anything else going on. I didn't do it, but it was going through my mind, right? I mean, I've done Taekwondo before, but I only did it like on the side for like, I don't know, 6-7 months, whatever, because I was bored. But yeah, I wouldn't base everything on it. But if you want to do it for like a hobby or, you know, personal growth and development, there's no problem with that. But if you're worried about fighting, then you need to keep working on your fighting. If you got enough time to work on your skill set, your combative skill set, and your martial quote unquote art, then do them both.
Okay. Would you? All
Because
right.
I told you, I did capoeira for like 6 years. I mean, I'm not going to be busting that out on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I did that
Yeah.
I just did that for, you know, for myself.
Yeah. You're not gonna break out the dance moves. I get it.
No. I mean, I was doing that, and at the same time, I was doing some hardcore kickboxing, and you know, became instructor level. So there's that.
Will you be willing to come back on with GI and Kato to talk extensively about mutualism?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, would you like to plug your Twitter and anything else? I don't know if you're on MeWe or Minds or anything like that.
No, I am just on. I still have a Facebook page because I've been well behaved on there after being suspended. God, I don't
Hey,
know.
excellent.
Yeah, I'm Anarchy or Death on Facebook, and then Anarchy or Death on Twitter, and then the is at Anarchy or Death 1. I'm sorry, it's Anarchy and Gray on Twitter. I switched that so I wasn't so scared. I don't understand how they sucked mutualism aid, but they let Anarchy and Death slide. I mean,
Because
come on,
they're
which one of those
fucking
sounds more?
douchebags, dude. They're fucking
I mean, mutualism
douchebags.
aid, that was like an educational page and shit. You know, I was like spreading different, you know, some of the stuff that I've learned and, you know, stuff that I'm still learning, you know, sharing that with people. And
Dude,
they zuck that page, but
when
they
you
leave my edgelord page alone. It's like, what?
when you followed me, I was like, I texted GI immediately. I was like, yo, did you hear about mutualism? Like, I've never heard of this. And they were like, oh yeah, mutualism is dope. Like, mutualism is fucking rad. Like, this is this and this and this and this. Oh, okay, cool. And then I texted him, hey man, are you a no shit mutualist? Like, blah blah blah. That I've never heard of mutualism until you followed me, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't know what this is at all.
Well,
So
good. There's my contribution to the non-arc.
yeah, dude, I'm really pissed that they took you out, man.
It's all good. I mean, I kind of got what I got going on now, and you know, I'm not taking it too terribly seriously because Twitter's a different animal than
Twitter is
Instagram,
different.
and so I just kind of go with the flow. You know, I can still keep in touch with everybody, still see some good memes, see what people are doing, and all the different movements I follow.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
you
man,
know, it'll work. But It's not quite the propaganda machine that I prefer.
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking different algorithm. But like I'm very grateful that you're keeping this unity train going. I welcome it. I encourage it, and I hope that everyone else joins on it now that it's mainstream.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to talk about this and that and mutualism, and we can talk about whatever. Just hit me up, just let me know. I can pretty much make it happen. I am pretty busy right now, but I can fit in an hour or two.
Yeah, dog. You let me know when you're done moving and when you're not busy anymore, and I got you, bro.
Cool, man. All right.
All right.
We the animals take control.